day friends, welcome to the lecture series on Fundamental of Investment. In this subject of Fundamental of Investment, we are talking of it on a topic of fixed income securities. And in this topic of fixed income securities, in my previous lecture, I was talking about valuation of bond, and I will continue from where I left. That is, in my previous lecture, when I was talking of valuation of bond, I talked about yield to maturity, yield to call, and how we value the bonds that are non-convertible, that are convertible, that are fully convertible, which we call it compulsory convertible. And when we discuss different types of bonds, one of the type of bond or the nature of the bond is that they are optionally convertible debentures. That is, when you call it debentures or bonds, so debentures are not necessarily convertible. It is up to the option of the bondholders to get it converted into equity shares or not to get it converted into equity shares and keep the bond till maturity as pure bonds. That is, a fixed amount of interest will be accrued to the bondholders till the time of maturity. So, optionally convertible debenture, normally known as OCDs, right? So, optionally convertible debentures provides the debenture holders an option to get them converted into equity share after a specific period. That is, it is up to the option of the bondholders to get them converted into equity shares. Means, if he is not willing or she is not willing to convert these bond into equity share, the bondholder may not exercise this right. So, the debenture holder will opt for conversion only when the value of the share received after conversion is higher than the redemption value of the debenture at that point of time. That is, when I use the word debentures or I use the word bond, I am using it interchangeably, right? So, the question is, when the bondholder or the debenture holder will opt this exercise? She will opt this exercise only when the equity price of the share, which is getting into converted from the bonds, they are higher than the value of the bond at that point of time. So, the value of the OCD will depend on whether the option is being exercised or not. Let's see it. If option is not exercised, I am presuming that bondholder does not exercise the right and keep the bond as pure bond only, that is that the bondholder continues to get interest and redemption value up till the time of maturity. Interest up till the time of the maturity, that is year after year, as the terms and conditions are on an annual basis or 6 monthly or quarterly, whatever the bond indenture speaks about, that is whatever the terms and condition is. Every year the bondholder is getting the interest, and as and when maturity arises, the redemption value is being paid to the bondholders, right? So, if the option is not being exercised, then the bond will be valued the way we value the bonds as such, plain bonds. So, if the debenture holders continues as such till maturity, then the value of the optionally convertible debenture can be calculated using the formula, that is B0, which we have been using in the past also. That is B0, that is the current price of the bond, is equal to summation of T is equal to 1 to N, means the summation of the interest up till the maturity period, interest in the time T divided by 1 plus KD raised to the power T plus redemption value 1 plus KD raised to the power N. That is, it is, in other words, you can say B0 is equal to the bond value is equal to the interest, or you can say present interest amount, annual interest, multiplied by present value interest, present value annuity factor, which you refer through present value annuity table, present value annuity factor multiplied by the interest. That is, when you say present value annuity factor, you will see the present value annuity factor at your required rate of return, that is KD, right, for a period of time of T, up to, suppose it is a 10-year bond. So, what is the present value of the interest income which the bondholder will get in 10 years, right? So, the present value of that plus present value factor multiplied by the redemption value at the required rate of return. When you say present value of factor, the present value factor at the required rate of return for the nth period, means the nth period is the period of the maturity. Suppose it is a 10-year bond. So what is the present value factor of required rate of return at required rate of return of 10 year, right? So in this way you can calculate the value of the bond. But if option is exercised, that is, option is exercised means if bondholder decides to get the bond converted into equity share after a specific period of time, then how will you value this bond? How will you value the convertible debenture bond? So debentures are converted into equity shares, then the value can be calculated using the following formula. I'll explain this. B0 is equal to, B0 is nothing but the value of the bond, is equal to summation of T is equal to 1. T is the time. Time is equal to first year, that is the first period, up to the nth period. Interest in the period T divided by 1 plus KD raised to the power T. That is, it is nothing but the summation of the interest income, present value of the interest income which the bondholders will be getting year after year, plus T. M is the number of shares which the bondholder will get when the debentures will be converted into equity shares, right? Suppose it is a 1000 rupees bond and the bondholders has been given an option that at the end of the 5 year you can get them converted into 5 equity shares. So M is 5 shares. PT, I am presuming at the time of the redemption, the price of the share will be at that point of time in the market is 250 rupees. So 250 rupees multiplied by 5 divided by 1 plus KE. Here it is not KD, it is the KE. KE is expected return on equity, discounted rate on the equity. KD is the required rate of return on debt and KE is the required rate of return on equity raised to the power T plus redemption value, right, divided by 1 plus KD raised to the power N. What does this mean? Let me explain this. When I am saying how you will exercise this, how will you calculate the optionally convertible debenture when the bondholders exercises to convert this bond into equity share. Let me take an example. Suppose it is a 1000 rupees bond and the duration of the bond is 6 years. So at the 6th year, and the coupon rate is say 10%, 1000 rupees bond, coupon rate of interest is 10% and the required rate of return I am presuming is also 10%. And at the end of the 10th year, the bondholder is being given an option that out of the 1000 rupees, 800 rupees can be converted into 8 equity shares at a price of rupees 200. Means at the time of issue of the bond itself, the bondholder is being told that at the time of redemption, the share will be issued at the rate of rupees 200 per share. That is, out of the 1000 rupees, 800 will be converted into equity share, that is 8 equity shares, and rest 200 rupees will be redeemed. So, and the cost of equity is say 12%. So what is the present value of the bond? If you want to calculate this, how will do it? For 10 years, or for that matter, yes, for the 10 years, bondholder will be getting 100 rupees interest because the coupon rate of interest is 10% and required rate of return is also 10%. So the bondholders will be getting 100 rupees for 10 years in form of interest. So if the required rate of return is 10%, I'll calculate the present value of the stream of interest income which the bondholder will be getting for 10 years at 10% rate of interest. That is, required rate is 10%. So 100 multiplied by present value annuity factor at 10% rate of interest for 10 years. So this is the present value of the interest income which the bondholders will be getting. This is one component. The second component is what is the present value of the equity shares which the bondholder will be getting at the end of the 10th year at 200 rupees per share. I am presuming when the time of redemption will come, means 10th year, when the company will be converting these shares, the price of that share at that point of time in the market will be 500 rupees. Right? Company will give the bondholders share at rate of rupees 200, but at that point of time the share price will be 500 rupees. Right? So, and since the 4 shares are being issued, because not one full 1000 rupees is being converted, out of 1000 rupees only 800 rupees is converted into equity share, that is 4 equity shares are being issued for rupees 800, 200 each share. So, M is 4 and PT at that point of time, I am presuming the value of the share at that point of time will be 500 rupees. So, 500 multiplied by 4, that is 2000. So, divide by 1 plus KE raised to the power T, right. So, I will apply again that what is the present value of this 500 multiplied by 4, 2000 rupees, 2000 at my required interest, required rate is 12% on equity. So, I will say present value in present value factor, right, at 12% of 10%. So, that will give you the present value of the equity shares that the bondholder will be getting after 10 years, plus the redemption value. What is the redemption value? Out of 1000 rupees, 800 rupees has been converted. What is remaining portion? Only 200 rupees. So, I will say what is the present value of this 200 rupees at my required rate of return of 10% for 10 years, right. So, this will be, this is the way you value the bonds. So, friends, let me repeat what I said just now. There are 3 components in the optionally convertible debenture. One component is of the stream of income. You will calculate the present value of the interest income which the bondholder will be getting throughout the life of the bond. Plus, what is the present value of the equity shares that the bondholder will be opting if the bondholder exercises the right of conversion. So, this present value will be calculated not at the required rate of return of the debt, but it will be calculated at required rate of equity, that is we call it cost of equity, right. Plus the third component is the present value of the redemption value. So, if you make summation of these 3 value, you will get the bond price. So, friends, what we have seen is that in the optionally convertible debentures, there is an option before the bondholders that if the bondholder wants to exercise this right of converting into equity shares, then the bondholder can exercise it. If she doesn't want to convert at that point of time, she may not exercise this right. This right will depend on, as a prudent investor I will say, that what will be the market price at that point of time. Supposing the company has said that okay, we will convert this into equity share at the rate of rupees 200. But at that point of time, when the time of redemption comes, that is when I will use the word when the time of conversion will come, supposing the price at that point of time is 150 rupees. In that case, if the price is less than 200 rupees, because the company will convert this into equity shares only at rupees 200 per share, right, and 800 rupees will be converted into 4 shares, that the price is predetermined 200 rupees. But if the price is less than 200 rupees, supposing at that point of time in the market the price of the equity share is 180 rupees, in that situation the bondholder will not exercise the right of getting its portion of the bond into equity shares. He or she will exercise the right only when the share price at that point of time is more than the conversion price of the equity share which the company has promised, right. So, in this way, friends, we value the optionally convertible debentures. Now, after talking of valuation of optionally convertible debentures, let us discuss about valuation of deep discount bond or a zero coupon bond. Friends, if you recollect, when we were discussing about, when I was talking about the different types of bond, I discussed about deep discount bond, or you can say zero coupon bond. And if you recollect, I said that in deep discount bond or zero coupon bond, no annual interest is being paid. What is being done is that these bonds are being issued at a significant discount price than that of its maturity value. Supposing a bond is of rupees 1,000 rupees. This 1,000 rupees means the redemption value will be 1,000 rupees. Say this bond is being issued for 15 years or 20 years, 25 years. Normally these deep discount bonds are being issued for a longer duration of time. So if the bond is being issued for 15 years, say, so, and say it's just a broad example, is being issued for rupees 200 rupees. At the time of issuance of the bond, the company will get only 200 rupees and a bondholder will have to pay 200 rupees. No interest will be paid for 15 years if the duration of the bond is 15 years. And at the end of the 15 year, the bondholder will get 1,000 rupees, right? So this 800 rupees interest, that is 1,000 minus 200 the issuance price, the redemption value minus the issuance price, that is the 800 rupees, is the interest income which will not be paid on a regular basis, will be paid only on a lump sum basis at the time of redemption. So deep discount bond is a debt security that does not involve payment of regular interest. It is issued at a heavy discount and redeemed at par upon maturity. The valuation of deep discount bond can be made using the same valuation method as is applicable for a normal bond, except that in case of deep discount bond, we do not have any interest component and hence there will be only one cash flow at maturity, the redemption value of deep discount means. As I was just saying that during the intermediate period of the life of the bond, no interest is being paid, only at the time of maturity the interest is being, the value is being paid, which consists of the interest component as well as the value of the bond, the price of the bond. And how do we calculate, right? So the formula for calculate the deep discount bond is redemption value divided by 1 plus KD. KD is nothing but the required rate of return. RV is your redemption value, B0 is the current price of the bond, So redemption value divided by 1 plus KD raised to the power N. N means the time period for which it is being issued. In my example, the example which I was just saying at the time of talking deep discount bond, redemption bond is of rupees 1,000. It means the redemption value is 1,000 and the amount that is being which is being issued, right? So it is being issued at 200 rupees and nothing is being mentioned about it, that what is the required rate of return, right? Or what is the KD, what is the interest, what is the coupon rate? There is nothing being mentioned in this. So you will say the required rate of return. This 1,000 rupees will be discounted with the required rate of return. And friends, let me make it very clear that when we talk of required rate of return, what is required rate of return? Let me clarify, which I have clarified earlier also, that required rate of return is a return which the investor, is the minimum return I would say, which the investor expect when investing in a bond and which is generally equivalent to market rate of interest given the other things remaining same. Other things remaining same means given the risk profile of the company, depending on all other factors. If I'm presuming that the company is say the bond is AAA rated bond, various agencies, various rating agencies rate these bonds, and AAA rated bonds are those bonds which are considered with a very high degree of safety. So on these bonds there are minimal of risk involved. So in these bonds the required rate of return of the investor is almost equivalent to the market rate of return of that category of the bonds, right? So B0, the current value of the bond, is equal to redemption value RV divided by 1 plus KD. KD is your required rate of return raised to the power n. N is the time when the maturity will take place. If it is a 15 years bond, so if in my example I was saying redemption value is 1000 rupees, and if your KD, if your required rate of return is 10%, so I'll discount this 1000 rupees with the 10% rate of return or 10% interest, and for the 15-year period, right? So KD is the required rate of return or discount rate, RV redemption value, and is the life of the bond. In this way, you calculate the value of deep discount bond. Let's take an example. A bond has a 10,000 rupees face value with a 30-year life. The investor's required rate of return is 10%. What is the value of the zero coupon bond or deep discount bond? Should the investor buy this bond if it is available at rupees 600? Your advice is being sought that if this is the scenario, that the life is 30 years, your required rate of return is 10%, the bond is of having a face value of 10,000. Face value means at the time of redemption, the bondholder will get 10,000 rupees. And if this bond is available in the market at 600 rupees, should the investor buy this bond or should the investor not buy this bond? This is the problem before you. So how will you value the bond? So on the 10,000 rupees, because there is no interest and on an annual basis that will be paid, so directly we will take redemption value. Redemption value is nothing but the face value of the bond. Redemption value 10,000 multiplied by present value factor at 10% rate of interest for 30 years, right? So this present value factor comes to be 0.057. What does this present value factor means? That if a person gets 1 rupee after 30th year and the rate of interest is 10%, what is the present value of this 1 rupee? This present value is 0.057. And what the investor will get? 10,000 rupees. So 10,000 multiplied by 0.057, that comes to be 570 rupees. See, this comes the value of the bond. And what is the price of the bond that is for which it is available to the investor? 600 rupees. So what is your advice? Should the investor buy it or not buy it? My answer will be the investor should not buy the bond, because the investor should not buy the bond at 600 rupees as the intrinsic value of the bond is less than the market price. So the real value as per our requirement, 10% interest, is 570 rupees, but in the market, since it is available at 600 rupees, so it means that the bond should not be purchased at this price of 600 rupees. Now, after talking of valuation of deep discount bond, friends, let us discuss the valuation of perpetual bonds. What is perpetual bonds? Perpetual bonds they are not being redeemed. They continue for infinite period of time. They continue for the life of the bond. And what the investor get is that whosoever possesses, and they may be transferable also, right? Whosoever possesses this, they get a required rate of interest, right? So if the bond is perpetual, then there is no maturity period of the bond and hence no redemption value. In such case, the interest income will be in the form of perpetuity, that is, the same amount will be received year after year for an infinite period of time. That is, there is no redemption value. What if I buy this bond, what I'll get? I'll get the interest income on an annual basis. So how do we value it? Hence, the value of a perpetual bond will be capitalized value of its annual interest. So the value of the perpetual bond is equal to annual interest divided by KD. KD is your required rate of return or required rate of interest. Let's understand with the help of an example. Suppose a company has sold rupees, and company has sold rupees 1,000 rupees, 12% debentures for 10 years ago. The interest income have risen since then, so that debenture of the company are now selling at 15% yield basis, right? Determine the current expected market price of the debenture. Would you buy the debenture for rupees 700 rupees? So this is the example. This is the question before you. What is your advice? That if this bond is available at 700 rupees, what is your advice? So assume that the debentures, this is the other part. Let me discuss the first part itself. So face value is rupees 1,000. Coupon rate is 12%. Your KD is 15%. Value of perpetual bond is equal to annual interest divided by required rate of return. The present yield is 15%. right? So on a 1,000 rupees bond, annual interest will be 120. Year after year, a bondholder will be getting 120 rupees interest. So this 120 rupees will be discounted by 15%, right? So 120 divided by 0.15, that comes to be 800 rupees. So since the investor should buy this bond at rupees 700. What is the price, current market price, which is or at which the bond is available? It is available at 700 rupees. So intrinsic value should buy this bond as at rupees 700, as the intrinsic value of the bond is more than the market price. The market price is 700. The intrinsic value means the real value of the bond at the required rate of return. So the intrinsic value is 800 rupees. What it means is a bondholder should buy this bond because this bond is available to the bondholder at a lesser price than the intrinsic value of the bond. The second part of this is, assume that the debenture of the company are selling at rupees 825 rupees. If the debenture have 8 years to run to maturity, compute the approximate effective yield on investor would earn on his investment. In this case, friends, what you have to calculate is what is YTM of the bond, right? So 1,000 rupees is the bond, coupon rate is 12%, required rate is 15%, life of the bond is 8 years, and your current price is 825 rupees, right? So your face value is 1,000. So approximate YTM, friends, as you know, we have discussed in previous lectures also. So interest is 120 plus redemption value minus current price of the bond divided by N. N is the life of the bond. In our example, it is 8 years. So 120 plus 1,000 minus 825 divided by 8 divided by the average of redemption value and the current price. That is 1,000 plus 825 divided by 2, which comes to be 15.55%. That is, if the investor buys this bond at 825 rupees, the yield which the investor will be getting 15.55%, right? And the required rate of return is 15%. So it means investor should buy this bond. Thank you very much.